Come in.
Hey man. So can I talk to you about this diabetic guy?
We've spoken about this in the past, Harry.
What? Speaking about what?
The way you dress.
This is my best hoodie.
I don't care, mate. Off you go. Get sorted out. Get back in here with some proper attire.
Serious?
Seriously. You're unprofessional. Come in.
Righto. So, can I talk to you about this guy I just saw?
No. Let's just cut to the chase. We've spoken about this on numerous occasions.
Talking about what? I haven't told you about him yet.
You're unprofessional in your wear. Look at the attire you've got on, for God's sake.
This is my best t-shirt.
A collar and tie at least, please, mate. And then you can discuss the case. On your way. Thank you.
Jeez, man. Serious uptight.
Come in.
Happy now?
As a matter of fact, no, I'm not.
Can I tell you about this patient I just saw? He's diabetic.
I don't want to know about the patient until you come and present yourself in a professional manner. Let's just go back to School 101. We've spoken about this in the past on numerous occasions, and I'm sick to death of telling you to turn up here in a professional manner with a professional attitude.
Collar?
Doesn't matter.
Collar?
Are you for real? Come in. For God's sake.
And my glasses.
Well, at least you've made an effort. You've got the tie on. It's not exactly what I was expecting, Harry, but you've wasted at least a half an hour of my day here. You realise we are busy. Expectation is that you actually dress a bit better, you speak a little bit better, you don't slouch.
Yeah, let me speak.
We're just expecting a little bit more from you, the Deakin students. Unfortunately, if you're a representative of these students...
This is my best hoodie.
Well, I'll be seriously taking a good hard look at myself, mate.
Have you got a mirror? Right, so you're happy now? Like, thanks, alright?
Yeah, look, I'd actually prefer a proper shirt and tie, but for today we've spent half an hour.
Alright.
Let's get on with it.
Can I tell you about this guy I just saw?
Please.
Right, well, first thing I should do is just show you the photo.
What's the patient's name?
I don't see how that's relevant. Alright, okay. So I've just seen John Smith. Can we get his photo?
Can you tell me a little bit more about this patient, John Smith?
Okay, if I have to. So I've just seen John Smith, who's a 47-year-old male airline pilot. Can I show the photo now?
How about we start with the history of presenting complaint?
Oh, yeah.
We've been over this before.
Sorry. Yeah, it's just the photo. It's a cracker. It's a cracker. So I've just seen John Smith, who's a 47-year-old male airline pilot, and he's presented with a 2-day history of blur in the right eye. He states that the blur in the right eye came on relatively suddenly over about a 6-hour period. The blur is there both at distance and near. It's constant, it's painless. He hasn't noticed any flashes or floaters, and he also tried his glasses on that he wears, and he said that it made absolutely no difference to the blur. He also has denied any diplopia, any discharge, any photophobia. He has no headache. He's not a contact lens wearer, but he does wear multifocals, as I mentioned, and he got these 2 years ago. So that's the history of presenting complaint. I don't know why that's relevant. Anyway, can I show you the photo now?
We missed a little bit in this, Harry, perhaps a bit more detail about his general health.
Okay, yeah, I did ask him some questions there. But it's just a photo, it just tells you everything.
We'll get to that.
So I've just seen John Smith, who's a 47-year-old airline pilot that's come in with a 2-day history of blur in the right eye, relatively sudden onset over about a 6-hour period. The blur is there for both distance and near. It's constant, painless, unaffected by spectacle wear. He denies having any photopsia or floaters. He also denies diplopia, pain or discharge, photophobia, headache. He's not a contact lens wearer, but he does wear multifocals, which he received 2 years ago from his optometrist. He describes his health as good. He's not taking any medication currently, but he did say that he had a deep vein thrombosis 4 years ago. Not quite sure how that would be relevant. His mother has cataract, or had cataract, I beg your pardon. She passed away 5 years ago from a pulmonary embolism, which I think is a clot in the lung. He lives with his wife and 3 children. Anyway, can I show you the photo?
How about we look at the examination findings before we get to the photo?
Right, okay. You're picky.
Very, very thorough here.
Yeah, picky. You think all this is relevant when I can just show you the photo?
No, I think it's very relevant.
On examination, unaided visual acuity was 615 in the right eye with a plus 050 on a minus 050 at 180, and notably pinhole gave no improvement in the acuity. And his best corrected vision was actually 615 as well, so he had no improvement from the prescription. His left eye was planar and he had 6.5 vision. I had him read N5 print with a +1, but clearly it was his left eye doing all the work there. Other examination findings: ocular motility was normal, his pupil reactions were normal, intraocular pressure measured by Goldman tonometry, 15 millimeters of mercury in both eyes. His anterior eye examination was essentially normal in both eyes. In particular, there was no abnormality of the tears, cornea, aqueous or lens, and he had no cataract. Okay. No, you want to hear the rest of the exam, don't you? It's a photo. You've got to see this photo.
We'll get to
Now on slit lamp biomicroscopy with 90D lens, examination of the right eye revealed a well-perfused optic nerve head, though it had a choked appearance. His macula definitely appeared to be swollen. There were signs of edema there. He had widespread venous tortuosity, and he had flame hemorrhages essentially covering the entire retina in all quadrants. The examination of the left eye was normal. Can I show you this photo?
Before we get to the photo, what do you think is going on with John?
Oh, you want me to think about it as well?
Mm.
Oh, well, so you're asking what I think, what my impression
What's
is.
your professional opinion on this?
Oh, well, my impression is that John's had a central retinal vein occlusion. Anyway, can I show you the photo?
Do you think we need to undertake any further testing with John?
Well, yes, I think what we need to do is John should probably have some further imaging done, which might include a OCT of the right eye, and also he should probably have some blood tests to look for underlying factors that might lead to clotting, cause of thrombophilia and thrombosis. Now can I show you the photo?
What do you think we're going to do with John? What's our next step?
Would it be better if I just presented this all in one go?
That's what we're after.
Right. So you mean give you a concise, complete account of why the patient has attended, what I found and what I think we should do?
Exactly.
Right. Well, Sean, could I tell you about the patient I've just seen?
Let's go through it again, Harry.
So I've just seen John Smith, who's a 47-year-old male airline pilot that presented with a 2-day history of blur in the right eye. He explains that the blur came on relatively suddenly over a 6-hour period. The blur is both at distance and near. It's constant. He has no pain associated with it. He has no photopsia or floaters. The blur is unaffected by wearing his glasses. He also denies any double vision, any discharge, any photophobia. He has no headache. He's not a contact lens wearer, but he does wear multifocals, which he had prescribed to him 2 years ago. He describes his general health as good. He's not taking any medication, though he did have a deep vein thrombosis 4 years ago. His family history includes cataract on his mother's side. His mother had cataract. She died of a pulmonary embolism. In terms of his social history, he lives with his wife and 3 children. On examination, John was well looking, though clearly quite distressed. Unaided visual acuity was 615 in the right, 6.5 in the left. I refracted him as plus 050 on minus 050 at 180 in the right, with no improvement in his visual acuity, and in particular pinhole didn't improve his visual acuity either. The prescription was planar on the left eye. I tried a +1 add, and with this he was able to read N5 print. His ocular motility and pupil reactions were normal, and Goldman tonometry gave a reading of 15 millimetres of mercury in both eyes. Anterior eye examination was normal in both eyes. In particular, there were no abnormalities of the tears, cornea, aqueous or lens, and there was no cataract. Posterior eye examination performed with 90 diopter lens revealed a normal left eye, but in the right eye he had a well-perfused optic nerve head, though the disc itself appeared quite choked. The macula was edematous. He had widespread venous tortuosity, and he had flame hemorrhages in all quadrants of the retina. My impression is that this patient has had a central retinal vein occlusion, and I believe, to confirm this, he could have some further imaging such as an OCT, particularly to look at how much swelling there is at the macula to determine whether there should be treatment of the macula. He should also have some blood tests to assess him for thrombophilia and other causes of thrombosis. My suggested management for this patient is urgent referral to ophthalmology, and in particular to a retinal specialist with a view to urgent treatment and further workup.
Fantastic. Now, why couldn't we have done that at the start?
Well, because you didn't tell me to. And